his arrogance.
Don't like
No,
That's because I'm black.
No, sir, no.
You don't like a nigga talking like this. The white people.
Oh, I beg your pardon. No.
I don't want to. All black people don't cut up what you saying. You mean white people know. Listen, woman, everybody black watching this show knows why you don't like the way I talk. Because you don't like a nigga talking to you like this. Niggas never done nothing like this before.
Sir, I
know what it is. Don't tell me what you don't like. You don't know who you're talking to.
What I don't like.
I don't care what you don't like. Just buy a ticket and see me get my butt whooped.
No. Listen, I'm in a minority in this country here.
What's your minority?
I'm from England.
You're a minority. You're from England. You own England and America. You white. You can go to one of this city you want to go. Oh, you from England. You more free than me. You from England. Didn't you say you're a minority? You know you can go to towns, move in neighborhoods. You can buy things. You can open a business downtown Chicago and do business, and I can't do it, but you from England.
Hello, Freedmen family and our riders. That was the beautiful ancestor Muhammad Ali, and he nipped that privilege and that playing that victim, as well as her using the minority status, right on in the bud. Honey, she tried and failed. Now, speaking of checking the victim behavior, gaslighting, and privilege, that brings me to this woman, Caitlin Bennett. Maybe Ali could have checked her too, because she could use it. Now, Caitlin is a CK supporter and feels it's her right to go to random places and debate others just because she wants to, and post the videos all over TikTok of different people's responses. Now, the issue with this is some people don't want to be bothered with Caitlin, and some of those people include our people. And it appears Caitlin doesn't understand that people don't have to talk to her, okay? And she is still considered a pest even if she does have privilege. A few weeks ago, Caitlin decided to show up to a black event in Florida and make her presence known. And yes, it was a bit of a disruption because you see, Caitlin was asked to leave. And she simply could not handle that coming from people who many of her people say they have black fatigue from, or who they claim are violent, or who they hate to be around. Let's take a look at this clip and we're going to talk.
What is the first word that comes to mind when I say the name Donald Trump?
Why is that a relevant question for this event?
She's going through the security already.
The organizer told me you wasn't allowed here, so
you are a government employee?
Yes, she's going to security. That's exactly what they're there for, to remove people who make them uncomfortable, who they don't want there, like you. What's confusing me is it doesn't even look like this event has anything to do with Donald Trump. So I'm confused as to why he's being brought up. I mean, yes, it's no secret that more people may have voted for Trump this time around, but most black people, or a lot of black people, don't really care to discuss the Republicans, even though many of us are doing away with the Democrats. So why create an issue at someone else's event, then when she goes to security, doing the same thing that your kind normally does, like calling the cops as well, now it's wrong? See, that's the funny part. This is coming from a woman whose people have a long history of getting black towns destroyed and black folks lynched, all because of their tears.
Okay, so am I allowed to be here?
you're allowed, but if the person who rents the park don't want you here, we can't really have you here.
Why are you interrogating this man? You're in a space you're not even supposed to be in. You don't have to be allowed everywhere. I mean, the privilege is surreal to me. You're questioning this man because he's calmly telling you that you're not wanted at this event, an event they paid for. And instead of leaving, you're becoming offended that you're being asked to leave, and you're getting on the nerves of people who paid for the event. Now you're trying to interrogate him for doing his job, all because you feel entitled to be in a space where you're not wanted. See, this right here is the problem, the entitlement. The constant need to insert yourself in every situation, then play victim or innocent when someone finally tells you no.
Are they asking you to remove me? They're telling people not to talk to me, interrupting my conversations. Do they want you to remove me?
Yes, ma'am.
She getting on my nerve. I'm sorry, y'all. They're literally telling people to remove you. Ma'am, you're pestering folks, and they've rented that park for their event. How are they interrupting your conversation when you're the one interrupting their event? I mean, make it make sense. Any other time, it's Blue Lives Matter. Any other time, it's they're just doing their job. But now that a black police officer, okay, is checking and correcting you and stopping you from your little crime of being somewhere you're not supposed to be, it's a problem. See, this is the privilege that they claim they don't have. Because let's be honest, this is nothing new. Many of them have always moved through life with that same sense of privilege, believing that rules are flexible, that consequences are optional when it comes to them.
And put the mic down on. Apparently, some people are having issues with the question that you're asking them.
Okay.
So
Like
if
what?
they just have, I don't know, try not to follow them around or try to intimidate or harass them. All right, because that's the call that we're
Are you
getting.
accusing me of doing that?
No, that's what I said. We got a call for.
You got a call that I was harassing people.
Yes, I don't know. Try not to follow them around or try to intimidate.
I'll say it for you, brother, because it's clear you walking on eggshells, and I can understand why. We'll discuss that later. Yes, you are harassing people and bothering them. They're not wrong for not wanting you there, Caitlin. You showed up to their event just to pester them and create problems. Had it been the other way around, and you and your people would be reporting the same thing, calling it a disturbance, or even saying that the people were trespassing if they came to your event and you did not want them. And I'm still trying to figure out why you're bothering the cop. I mean, he's better than me, because I would have just not answered all those questions. I would have just said, ma'am, leave, or I'm calling backup. Simple. I mean, this lady is literally sitting here trying to interrogate the cop.
Harassing. All right, because that's the call that we're
Are you
getting.
accusing me of doing that?
No, that's what I said. We got a call for.
You got a call that I was harassing people.
Okay, she's still getting on my nerve, y'all. And this clip is barely a minute long. Okay? Even if it was an accusation, you wouldn't have to deal with it if you weren't in their space to begin with. What part of they don't want you here do you not understand? They feel like you're bothering them and pestering them. I mean, the man is literally telling you that while he's walking on eggshells, because he's just trying to do his job. And you won't even let him do that. You're up here interrogating the man. Just leave. I mean, something is really wrong with these people. They claim they don't want to be around us. They say a lot of them got black fatigue, but every single time something is going on with us, they have to put themselves in the middle of it. They have to worry about what we're doing. Maybe I'm tripping, family, but I've never seen a law that says that you have to answer questions from people like her, or she has a right to stand in a space where she's clearly not wanted. That's not free speech. That's privilege. And that's pestering people. And now all of a sudden you're the victim. See, this is why I don't do the sisterhood thing with them. I don't care how much of them use, black faces to forward their agenda when it's convenient. No. I don't do the sisterhood thing with these folks. This is part of the reason why right here.
There's a book here called 100 Years of Lynching. If you look at the majority of the reasons why folks were lynched after the advent of slavery, it was because of a white woman. He scared her, he upset her, he startled her, he looked at her menacingly, he tripped over her. All of that could cost a black man his life. And so when we look at what has happened to our men, what must we remind each other of? And what happens to that black man that's on, he didn't have his medication, he's a little agitated. He about 6'9". He can't even fit in the chair, but he's trying to look smaller because he doesn't want to what? He doesn't want to upset or frighten her. But she is frightened, isn't she? She is frightened. So he's trying to figure out what he can do. Maybe I better not look at her directly. So I'm going to hold my head down. So in other words, I'm sick and I'm in pain, but I need to take care of you before you can take care of me. And that's what black people do 2004 with white people, and white people don't understand what's going on.
Come through, Dr. Joy DeGruy, an educator in every sense of the word, breaking it down and showing just how much history repeats itself. Now, they love saying, oh, it's all in the past or forget about it, but they don't change. This man, who is a cop, who is merely doing his job, is clearly walking on eggshells because he's very well aware that he could lose his job from one accusation from her. She knows that if she plays victim and she can get that narrative turned, he can just easily lose his job. See, they ain't burning down towns no more. But they still practice the same routine, just in a different way. So what we really have is a person that is literally pestering someone else or other people at their event. And it just happens to be one of them folks, women. Now, family, what we just watched, that's not nothing new. Her behavior and privilege has a long history. The whole I'm innocent, I'm confused, I'm the victim act is just the modern version of what's been used against Black people for centuries. Back then, y'all, one accusation from one of them folks, women, could end a Black man's life or destroy an entire community. No evidence, no truth, just tears and a pointed finger and a lie. That's probably why this brother is walking on eggshells. He knows it, and so do we. If you need proof, look at a lot of our Black towns that's been destroyed. Think about Emmett Till, a 14-year-old that was lynched because one of them folks, women, claim he whistled at her. And she later admitted at the end of her life it was a lie. Think about Tulsa. Think about Rosewood.
Because after the illusion of slavery and after the black codes and convict lease, then they said something else. They said, you know what? Separate but equal. Jim Crow, segregation. Y'all gonna be treated just as nice as everybody else. It's all gonna be equal. We just want you to be separate. And we said, hallelujah, that's a great thing. And you know, we did pretty well. And we did pretty well because we had to be what? Together. We were interdependent. We couldn't go nowhere else. So now we were dependent on each other. Guess what? We built beautiful towns. We had banks. We had everything we needed. We patronized one another's stores. We went to the same barbershop. We were the teachers, the doctors. We were everything. And then they looked over there and they said, you know, they're prospering. We thought the trauma was over. But was the trauma over? Oh no, they burnt those towns to the ground. And very often, what was the reason why it all started? Because of a white woman. Because somebody thought somebody did something to a white. It didn't matter. It was a trumped up charge.
Since we're talking about how history repeats itself and how dangerous people like Caitlin's behavior really can be when they choose to weaponize their fears or tears, or shall I say that victim mentality, I want to give you one more piece of proof. Because before anybody jumps in talking about that's the past, I want you to understand truthfully that these patterns didn't just disappear. They evolved. Now, most of us know the story of Emmett Till and how one lie cost that baby his life. But there were many other situations that could cost you your freedom if you lived. And that brings me to Mr. Matt Ingram. His story is another classic example of how we need to be careful, why we need to know our history, and why we cannot ignore how these behaviors show up over and over in different forms now. Now, Mr. Matt Ingram was one of the last Black men in America to be convicted of something called reckless eyeballing. Now, during Jim Crow, that meant a Black person could be accused of any crime simply for looking at a white person because white society claimed any glance carried sexual intent. Now, Mr. Ingram was a Black tenant farmer in Yanceyville, North Carolina, and in 1951, a 17-year-old white girl, Willa Jean Boswell, testified that she was scared because he looked in her direction from about 65 feet away. 65 feet. Nothing happened. No conversation, no touching, no threat. but the white community still demanded that he be prosecuted. They pushed for him to be charged with assault with intent to rape based solely on that look. Even when the charge was reduced, Matt went through multiple trials, each controlled by all white juries who ignored the fact that there was no evidence whatsoever that he intended to do something to this woman. Now, the judge instructed them that even looking in a leering manner could be treated as a threat. And of course, they convicted him again. He was sentenced, put on a chain gang, and had years of his life disrupted simply because a black man's presence was treated as dangerous. Just from looking, y'all. Now you see why that cop was walking on eggshells. Oh, it's passed down. He knows better, the history. He knows, even if he don't know all of the history that they've hidden, he knows a white woman's tears could be detrimental. And she knows her manipulation, her tears, and everything else she tried to do will be accepted. It would take pressure from the NAACP when they were strictly for Black American issues, and the Black media for the North Carolina Supreme Court to finally step in. They overturned the conviction, admitting that a look alone, even one someone claimed was frightening, could not be treated as a crime. But by then, Mr. Ingram's life was pretty much destroyed. And his story reminds us how quickly fear and false victimhood from them folks can destroy a black life. And the way some people behave today shows that those old habits never really die. They just change clothes. And that's why I look them dead in their eyes, because my people once couldn't. On that note, guys, I'm going to end this video. But I do want to say thank you for listening, guys. Let me know what you think about Mr. Ingram and about Caitlin in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Emancipation Media channel.